is a land in Vietnam known as the land of sandalwood, Khánh Hoà, by name with the famous tourist city of Nha Trang. The city reaches farthest offshore and also receives the first sunlight of the day. Nha Trang City is to the southernmost of central Vietnam, over 1,000 kilometers from Hanoi and 450 kilometers from Ho Chi Minh City. Access to the city may be from the railway, the sea route, the road, and the airways from Nha Trang and Cam Ranh airports. Nha Trang is still quite a young city compared to other municipalities nationwide. Yet it enjoys huge potential for tourist development thanks to the particular position and wonderful natural landscape. Many tourists from all corners of the world come to Nha Trang not only once, for the city always lures them with its own attraction. A city by the sea, Nha Trang has all the fresh, attractive specialities of any kind. The system of restaurants in Nha Trang can cater for every customer's needs. The tourist could enjoy a luxurious night party while watching special musical programs rich in traditional culture. Nha Trang Khánh Hoà is a land abounding in myths and legends linked to its rivers and mountains. The promontory lures the visitors not only with the primitive beauty of thousands of rocks of natural and original shapes, but also with the legend of the loyal and tragic love of a fishing couple, poor but full of compassion. The quiet yet thoughtful promontory has become one of the tourist spots visited most by tourists. This land of sandalwood is the melting pot of various ethnic groups of the Vietnamese community, each of their own cultural features which would provide inspirations to the visitors during their stay in Nha Trang Khánh Hoà. Built more than a millennium ago, Panaga temples is the vestiges of a once splendid culture. To many architects, each architectural item here is a lyric that can move one's heart for centuries. The main temple with the shape of a burning flame is adored by visitors thanks to its poetic mysticity. Noteworthy among the beauty sites of Nha Trang Khánh Hoà are pagodas marked with the wet paddy culture brought by the Viet to the southern land. Of these, Longshan and Haiduk pagodas are most visited by tourists. Leaving these pagodas, the tourists could set their foot into the flower garden of Longshan Pagoda. They could also climb up the mountain to the White Buddha on Trai Thuy Hill to view the whole city and greet the breeze from the far-off sea. In Nha Trang Khánh Hoà, there is also another cultural and scientific destination which cannot be missing out in a tourist visit, the Pasteur Institute and the Xerxes Vestige area. It is this romantic land and loyal inhabitants of the Cone Quarter that kept back Alexander Xerxes, a savant full of aspirations for adventures, explorations, and conquest. He chose Nha Trang Khánh Hoà as the second homeland. Scientific institutions established by Xerxes have become interesting tourist destinations for all. The Oceanographic Institute is another destination in almost every tour. With more than a century of existence and development, the Oceanographic Institute of Nha Trang has considerable contributions to the marine sciences in the country. In Nha Trang, other attractions are the Baodai Villas, Anna Mandara Resort, the parks along the seaside, and traditional craft villages in the city suburbs. The land of sandalwood has more than 40 rivers of all sizes, like 40 stretches of silk, linking the mountains to the sea, creating natural miraculous landscapes. Each of these is like a melody made up by nature. White reeds overwhelming the river banks reach the sea, yellow leaves from every corner start autumn. Scattered along these romantic rivers are ancient houses of hundreds of years of age, as well as traditional craft villages full of Vietnamese rustic flavor. After the trip along the lush rivers, the tourist would reach the Ponagar Hot Mineral Water Center, lying on one bank of the Kai River, only a few kilometers from the city center. At this ecological resort, the visitors could enjoy both the romantic scenery and refreshing services. The place has always been a sure destination of domestic and foreign tourists. To the west of the beautiful city of Nha Trang, another major ecological resort has been underway, the Songlo Wonder Park. This comes from daring and strategic thinking by investors who have a foresight of a tourist resort of national and international scope. The sea city of Nha Trang, the concurrent place of many natural gifts, has become one of the major tourist centers nationwide. In addition to the warmth of the sun, the abundance of the wind, the freshness of the blue sky and the sea, the richness of products, the sentimentality of the land and people of the home of sandalwood, there is also the poetic attraction of the rock islands, of the corals and the Swiftlet Isles. Within Nha Trang Bay, there is the whole system of rocky islands and coral reefs, each with its own myth and legend, forming specially attractive tourist sites, Nguyen Aquarium, Tam Island, True Beach, Hell Mount, Lao Island and Thi Island. Most visitors to Nha Trang would choose their first days on the beach or on one of the islands. Diving tours for exploration of the coral continental shelf at Hon Mun Sea Protected Area are unique excursions, supplying the tourists with fascinating feelings. Professional divers would guide the tourists in scuba diving for exploration of seabed. A whole underwater palace would greet the visitors' eyes with miraculous coral reefs as well as other eye-catching marine species. The underwater world that could only be found in myths and tales would give tourists wonderful feelings. From Moon Island, the tourists could arrive at Swiftlet Isles. Among the majestic cliffs of soaring waves, tiny swiftlets seemingly weave a kind of silky sky dotted with the sun, the sky, and the sea. Tourists are welcome to these isles to enjoy with their own eyes and own ears the legendary feelings of the legendary isles inhabited by the legendary swiftlets. Lying within Nha Trang Bay, a 7-minute boat ride would take the visitors to a 5-star resort, the Vin Pearl Resorts and Spa. This is a real pearl on Tre Island, lying in one of the most beautiful bays of the world. Nha Trang Khánh Hoà is also investing into a Rusanka resort, located at Tiên Beach to the north of Nha Trang City. This is also an attractive resort thanks to the full use of natural conditions of Nha Trang Bay. Khánh Hoà also obtains a whole system of satellite tourist sites, only a few hours of bus ride from Nha Trang City. Dai Lan is one of the beaches of fame. This beautiful beach with its marvelous landscapes is indeed a destination of recorded fame. LÍCH Resort is another luring attraction in the system of famous tourist sites of the land of sandalwood. This is really a nice, fresh and ideal beach and resort. Nha Trang attracts tourists not only with its beaches and offshore islands, but also by the pleasure from the mountains and forests. The tourists can make their way to the sea to fetch the pleasure by the immense ocean, and also find their way up to the forest to enjoy the fresh air of the majestic wilderness. Such tourist sites as the Three Lakes, Fairy Streams, Dayang Stream, Yang Bay Waterfalls, Amjua Reservoir, Ba Mount, Hell Mount, to name only a few, contribute much to the richness of tourist environment of Nha Trang Khánh Hoà. Another tourist spot lying to the north of Khánh Hoà, with full potential waiting to be woken up, is the tourist site of Văn Phong Bay. This is also the beautiful and windproof bay suitable for the construction of ecological tourist sites. To the south of the province, the tourist site of Ba Yai in Cam Ranh has been underway. This beautiful stretch of sandy beaches connecting Cú Hin Cape and Cam Ranh Airport will soon be a tourist site of top quality with its own natural value. Văn Phong, Cam Ranh, and Ba Mount shall be brilliant landmarks in perfecting the tourist map of Nha Trang Khánh Hoà. The sea and waves, the clouds and wind, the pleasure and anticipation, love and aspirations, compassion and share. Anyone who once visits Nha Trang Khánh Hoà and merges themselves into the wonderful beauty of this land of sandalwood shall never forget the generosity of the wind, the richness of the salty sea, the romantics of the mountains and the islands. The waves wet the sea pot for ink, and the Mount Pen writes poems on the cloud sheet spread out by the wind. Welcome to Khánh Hoà and the beautiful, hospitable city of Nha Trang.